Outer Silver Edge Station was amidst turmoil. The Gavron Misstep, a catastrophic error in judgment, had suddenly spiraled into a widespread interstellar conflict when a peacekeeping convoy mistakenly attacked what they believed were marauders. The smaller factions within the Perseus Compact, already teetering on the brink of division after 200 years of tension, were now in complete disarray at the thought of an all-out war against the Andromeda coalition. In an urgent effort to manage the crisis, station authorities enforced martial law, grounding all spacecraft and mandating that all inhabitants confine themselves to their quarters for half the day. A heavy quiet blanketed the station, the once vibrant mix of alien aromas replaced by the smell of recycled air. The corridors, formerly buzzing with commerce and the routine activities of a million beings, were now traversed solely by security teams and the occasional apprehended rebel. The persistent drone of air purifiers filled the silence. Among the affected was a solitary human crew, taking refuge in the Spirited Mesa tavern. This establishment, barely deserving of the term inn with its assortment of dilapidated sleep capsules, was the most affordable option for the human crew caught off guard by the sudden declaration of war. Or perhaps they had chosen it simply because they were already indulging in the establishment's low-cost spirits. They were just a regular cargo crew, neither guards nor bona fide traders, and certainly not combatants. Their vessel, Liam's Leap, was a decrepit hulk featuring 2 minor missile launchers, one of which was operational, and a solitary defensive cannon. Like most beings on the station, the crew had nothing to do but passively watch the news. They were deep in conversation over their 4th round of drinks when the report came through. A nascent colonial planet had been struck by a surprise offensive from the Andromeda forces, resulting in severe casualties. The Andromeda Command had labeled the planet a security risk, either for contributing to their adversaries' logistics, not worth the effort to defend, or simply an irritation on their sensors. Their solution was to cleanse any significant habitation from orbit, utilizing the most effortless method possible, which happened to be a broad-spectrum meson blast from their battleship's main armaments. However, they miscalculated the settings, failing to achieve immediate or complete eradication. Silence overtook the station, every eye fixed on a screen. Although familiar with conflict, no one had anticipated that war would reach their doorstep, deep within the Compact's core regions, a possibility now starkly real. As the silence shattered into a cacophony of voices, Liam's Leap's crew exchanged a knowing look, then turned their attention to their captain, Liam. With his crew awaiting direction, Liam slowly faced the news display, the ghastly images hardening his determination. He closed his eyes briefly, gathering his thoughts. Upon opening his eyes, a fierce determination shone within them. He surveyed his crew, each member mirroring his intense resolve, and stood. Exiting the tavern, his crew rose as one to follow their captain without a word. Navigating the station's dimly lit corridors, Liam led with a purpose, each step reinforcing their silent pledge. Security personnel attempted to block their way, arms raised in warning, but stepped aside, their resolve crumbling against the crew's unwavering determination. Reaching their ship, the crew quickly commenced undocking protocols, hastily initiating the vessel's startup sequence to avoid overloading the engine's cold start systems. They activated the anti-gravity field, gently maneuvering the ship out of its berth, past the atmospheric barrier, and away from the station. By then, rumors of the defiant human race abandoning the station to retreat to their remote homeworld had reached the station commander. Seeking to reassert control and his authority, the station commander instructed his traffic coordinator to issue a command: prevent the ship from leaving the station's vicinity, threatening them with severe penalties for non-compliance. The traffic coordinator, for the first time in his decade-long career, took his place in the communication chair. He moistened his lips and transmitted, "Attention Vessel ID XC4729, civilian cargo ship Liam's Leap. This is Senior Traffic Director Carlex Jen of Outer Silver Edge Station. You are breaching Perseus Compact Space Regulation 8.3.5 by moving your vessel without authorization during an emergency. The station is under complete lockdown. Return to docking immediately or face substantial penalties." Liam viewed the communication with evident disdain, as if repulsed, before activating his transmitter. This is the battleship Liam's Leap. Note, traffic control, that your rules no longer apply to us under Section 16.3.2 of the Compact's foundational agreement, as we are now a battleship en route to battle. Carlex paused, questioning whether he had misidentified the ship since the dilapidated freighter on his monitor surely wasn't a battleship by any standard. XC-4729. I repeat, you are infringing on Regulation 9.5.2. You are registered as a civilian freighter with minimal armament. Return to the station immediately, or your crew and vessel will incur fines totaling 2 million and 20 million galactic credits, respectively. With gritted teeth, Liam pressed the communication button harder this time. Traffic control. We are an armed vessel heading into conflict, qualifying us as a battleship under Space Regulation 28.4.3. End of discussion. XC-4729, you are not recognized as a battleship. If you do not power down and return, we will escalate the penalties. Interrupting with a fierce jab at the transmitter, Liam declared, Traffic control, impose any fine you see fit to be disputed upon our return. We are heading to the Perseus Andromeda front to protect our civilians. Godspeed, and hope we succeed in keeping the war at bay. Battleship Liam's Leap, signing off. Acknowledging with a nod, Liam ordered full thrusters, the ship accelerating away from the station as they initiated the Alcubierre drive. Carlex slumped back, his forearms hanging loosely. The threatened fine far exceeded the ship's value, let alone its potential earnings as a mercenary vessel, which he doubted would be profitable. He sighed and logged the fine in the station's database to be enforced upon the ship's return to the sector, not just the station. Across the Compact, tales spread of human ships and crews defying orders, risking fines, imprisonment, or violence in the early days of the war. Dubbed the Blazing Armada, their readiness to confront Andromeda forces head-on and undertake perilous supply missions to besieged Compact bases shifted the early war dynamics, giving the Perseus Compact the breathing room to mobilize their fleets and ground forces. And much like with Liam's Leap, most of these fines went uncollected.